I don't know about you, but I spend a lot of time online, both at my day job and in my personal life. For me, the internet is a valuable tool. But do we have any concept of how much information is on the internet? What happens to all the information in our world, not just online, but in books, music, movie, and, well, everything? In 2024, the global volume of data created, captured, copied, and consumed is 149 zettabytes, according to Statista. I don't have the numbers for 2025 or beyond, but it was projected to rise further to 181 zettabytes by the end of last year. This growth is driven by the increasing use of IoT devices, real-time data processing, and cloud-based storage. To put it into perspective, a zettabyte equals 1 sextillion bytes, which is a 1 followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sets of zeros, bytes. So that's really a lot, or the equivalent of storing 250 billion DVDs. I can't even imagine that concept. Throughout 2024, approximately 402.74 million terabytes of data are generated daily, encompassing newly created, captured, copied, and consumed information. I could read off the formula given, but let's just say that the amount of information created is more than perhaps our imaginations can ever even dream about. Recent analysis indicates that approximately 90% of the world's data has been generated within the past 2 years, and the volume of data stored globally is doubling approximately every 4 years. Information is created faster and faster with no end in sight. The growth of information reflects the increased digitization of global activities, from consumer applications to industrial operations, including demand for real-time analytics, automation, and efficient data storage solutions, and underscores the continual need for advanced storage solutions and data frameworks to manage this massive scale of information. From the humble beginnings of the Internet in 1969 as ARPANET, a node-to-node computer system used by the U.S. Defense System, to the insanely massive growth of the Internet today, there is one group that cares about saving and protecting information from our past. In a society that throws things faster away than we use them, this is indeed rare, and I wanted to find out more about them. The Internet Archive is headquartered in San Francisco, California. From 1996 to 2009, its headquarters were in the Presidio of San Francisco, a former U.S. military base. Since 2009, its headquarters have been moved to 300 Funston Avenue in San Francisco, which is a former Christian Science church. With the stated mission of providing universal access to all knowledge, the Internet Archive is one of the history's most ambitious cataloging projects. There are millions of books, music, software, movies, and more. Much of it is from libraries all over the world. Others are submitted by the creators themselves. The material has to be cataloged and then digitized, which is a slow process. The workers and volunteers are always busy. And the archive also maintains the Wayback Machine, which I'll talk about in a bit. The Christian Scientist Church in San Francisco's Richmond district was chosen largely because the church's front resembled the Internet Archive's logo, the Library of Alexandria's Greek columns. The archive gives free tours every Friday at 1. The afternoon I joined, there was a good-sized crowd. It was filled with locals and out-of-town visitors. The Internet Archive founder, Brewster Kahle, himself leads the tour. It starts in the lobby of the building, which is a very interesting place and a great location to wait for the tour. The lobby is filled with books, records, and pictures that I'm sure are part of the archive. There's also an old video game and Victrola. In a side room, a worker was busy scanning pages out of a book that was to be added to the archive. It is not a quick process. Kahle explained the purpose of the archive and how the information is not only stored digitally, but they also store the actual items themselves. The archive has warehouses on the West Coast, East Coast, and overseas. These warehouses are filled quickly. As he explained this, my mind went first to Indiana Jones with the big warehouse where they stored the Ark of the Covenant, and then to the TV show Warehouse 13, if you remember that warehouse. That's exactly what I thought of. The enormity of these warehouses must be mind-blowing. Now here are some numbers from the archive. There are 1 trillion web pages, 56 million books and texts, 13 million audio recordings, including 280,000 live concerts, 15 million videos, including 3.3 million television news programs, 5.3 million images, 1.3 million software programs. He explained that the greatest threat to saving and protecting information are publishing houses, recording labels, movie companies, and the like. Let's say, for example, if a movie is independently uploaded onto the archive, if the publishing movie company finds out, they'll send archive a cease and desist order for copyright infringement, and they have to remove it. Cale said that public libraries globally are threatened due to copyright laws. The world is changing, and copyright laws are on the forefront of these changes. After telling us how the archive works and some of the problems with copyright laws, Cale moved us into the main room, which used to be the main church area. The pews are still there, all in their places. There's a huge screen on the stage, and on both sides of the outside aisles, there are more than 120 ceramic sculptures of the Internet Archive's current and former employees, created by artist Nuala Creed, and inspired by the statues of the Zhan warriors in China. Among the figures is Internet pioneer Ted Nelson, the late hacktivist Aaron Swartz, as well as Brewster Kahle himself. Also found in this room are clever art projects such as a zip line, a zip disk on a fishing line by the organization's artist in residence. The sculptures are both interesting and kind of creepy, to be honest, though. Although smaller, they reminded me of that Japanese village where all the residents are life-size dolls. Yeah, they were interesting, but weird. As we sat there listening to Cale, it was a strange feeling being surrounded by them. Maybe it's just me, but I watched them out of the corner of my eye to make sure they didn't move. It was probably just me. In the back of the room along the wall are the archive's massive servers, which also serve as the building's heaters. Because the archive is in the outer Richmond district, it rarely gets too warm in here. So if the room gets warm, they just need to open a window and things cool off quick. On the big screen, Cale demonstrated how websites are recorded and categorized. And even though it can be done quickly, the number of websites are so large, the process is never ending. At the end of the tour, which takes about 1.5 hours, Cale had promised us Mitchell's ice cream. The archive had had a lunch for the workers and volunteers and offered us some of this delicious food in the basement cafeteria. I would never turn down the best ice cream in San Francisco. Never let anyone tell you there's better ice cream in San Francisco than Mitchell's. They are old school San Francisco, and they are the best. After getting ice cream, I happened to start talking to Mark, who said he managed the Wayback Machine. If you haven't used this great resource, I highly recommend it. You can look up old websites, discontinued servers, and the like, and many of them are available. Not all of them, but many of them are. Much of the time, if a website shuts down, someone else will take over the website address. It used to always be porn sites that did that. I remember when I published a music magazine many years ago, when it shut down, the very same week, a porn site bought the address. It happened all the time, but if that hasn't happened or there is the picture available, you can still look at it. Like if you look up some of the old servers, you can probably look up the old AOL server or something like that. It's there. I recommend the tour of the Internet Archive. It's a great tour. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, and it gives you a lot of information about what they're doing to save our information. I think they're doing a fabulous service. They work really, really hard at it, so I highly recommend it, especially if you're interested in the internet, tech history, or freedom of speech topics. Free tours are given every Friday at 1, and their address is 300 Funston Avenue in San Francisco.